I think we need to talk about how Trump is losing his mind day by day, and he posted this on Through Social today. Despite their protestations and false statements to the contrary, coupled with the drumbeat of the fake news, which is doing everything possible to make the US victory as small and insignificant as possible, it is, because there's no victory. Iran has fully and completely agreed to highest level nuclear inspections long into the future, infinity. This will ensure nuclear honesty. If they did not agree to this, there would be no further negotiations based on this and other major concessions being made by Iran. I have agreed to allow the Hormuz Strait to remain open. You have agreed, huh? Okay. With no further naval blockade. However, all ships are remaining in place should it be necessary to reinstitute the blockade, which seems at this point highly unlikely. The money and or sanctions that the US Treasury is releasing goes into escrow, controlled by the USA, and will be used for the purchase of food and medical supplies. I doubt it. Exclusively from the United States, including corn, wheat, and soybeans from are great American farmers. 3 exclamation points and the word no actual nuclear agreement in history has ever used. Because nothing in geopolitics is permanent. Treaties expire, governments change, infinity is not a diplomatic term, it's a headline. But look what's buried 2 paragraphs down. The money, the sanctions relief, the reconstruction fund doesn't go to Iran. It goes into an escrow account controlled by the United States, and it can only be spent on one thing: American corn, wheat, and soybeans from our great American farmers. This isn't a peace deal, it's a forced purchase order. Iran gets food, American farmers gets a guaranteed buyer, and he gets to call it humanitarian while routing hundreds of billions into the states that vote for him. Strait of Hormuz reopened, but the ships are staying in place. Should it be necessary to reinstitute the blockade, the threat isn't gone, it's paused, ready to be picked back up next time he needs a headline. Infinity. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Voter ID. So John is a leader, and hopefully he can get the votes.
Mr. President, on Iran, the Iranians are saying there's no scheduled visit for the IAEA inspectors. Is that part of your agreement?
They're wrong.
So
They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down 100% inspection. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
and Iran says there's no agreement to buy ag
From your
products.
view, Mr. President, when will those inspectors actually be on the ground
At the
in Iran?
appropriate time. At the appropriate time. There's no rush, but they'll be on the ground at the appropriate time.
24 hours after posting that inspections would happen into the future infinity, Iran's own government says there's no scheduled visit, not a disagreement about timing, a flat denial that any visit exists at all. His response wasn't a clarification, it wasn't a date, it wasn't a document, it was they're wrong, they know they're wrong. Repeated with no evidence because repetition is the only proof he has. Infinity inspections that the other party says were never scheduled, that's not a verification regime. That's a press release with no appointment behind it.
You mentioned yesterday that the Interior Department has video and photos. We reached out to them and they haven't shared it with us. Are you going to compel them to release
They've
it?
arrested, I think, 6 people on the reflecting pool. So the reflecting pool looks fantastic. I just got pictures of it. It's beautiful. But somebody went in with a knife and cut it. They cut it up good. And then they cut a 200, 350-foot slip in the form of lots of little slips, real horrible stuff, and they destroyed the grass. We put a brand new big load of grass out there. They destroyed it. So it's all being fixed. But it's a shame. So I understand 5 or 6 people are
It's a
arrested.
shame for you.
The Interior Department can refer to you on that. And I hear they have 6 people under investigation.
The President of the United States described someone using a knife to cut the National Mall's grass into 200 to 350 foot slips. In the same week, he's negotiating nuclear inspections with a foreign government and routing hundreds of billions of dollars through a farm escrow account. The reporter asked for the evidence. The Interior Department doesn't have it. There's no video, there's no photos, there's only a verbal description of grass being cut up, good with a knife, told the reporter as if were a security briefing. This is the same person asking us to trust that infinity-length nuclear inspections are real and scheduled. The same week, he can't produce evidence of his own grass story.
You with senators tomorrow, what will you say to allies of yours like Senator Cruz who've been critical of the Iran deal?
Well, I think anybody that's been critical of it has to be educated, even if they're friends of mine. Because we have Iran in a position that nobody's ever had. This should have been done for 47 years by other presidents. And we have Iran in a position where their military has been totally wiped out, their leadership has been wiped out, their radar has been wiped out, everything's been wiped out. They have not a good negotiating position. But despite that, and money that will be taken out of Iran is going to go to our farmers to give corn, soybeans, wheat to Iran because they have a hunger problem, they have a food problem, they have a medicine problem, they got a lot of problems. And they have an inflation. Their inflation now just hit 300%. So they have a lot of problems.
Educated. Ted Cruz, a sitting U.S. Senator, a Harvard Law graduate, someone who has spent decades studying foreign policy and national security, needs to be educated by Donald Trump about a deal that Iran's own government says doesn't include the inspections Trump publicly promised. Let's lay out everything we know in one place. The deal was announced with the word infinity and 3 exclamation points. The money goes into a US-controlled fund that can only buy American crops, a farm bailout wearing a humanitarian costume. The inspections that were supposed to guarantee nuclear honesty are, according to the Iran itself, not even scheduled. So the evidence for an unrelated story about damaged grass on federal property doesn't exist anywhere except in his own description of it. And any Republican, including his own allies, who raises a single question about any of this needs to be educated. That is not how you talk about a verified, documented, successful agreement. That is how you talk when you need everyone to stop asking questions before the gaps become visible. Cruz doesn't need an education, he needs an explanation. So does everyone else who is being told this is a victory while the other side of the table is publicly saying the opposite. If you're still paying attention to all of this, please do subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next one, and please do like and comment down below. Thank you so much.